Killing Floor is a awesome and underrated horror horde shooter that is 100% worth playing. Released in 2009, this PC exclusive is a load of fun. Where do I even start? Zeds. Lots of Zeds. Stab them, burn them, shoot them, blow them up, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. There are so many different ways to kill Zeds in this game and so many types of Zeds to kill. Quick clarification, these technically aren't really zombies as they're lab-produced weapons and not really undead corpses, but I usually call them zombies anyways. Starting off, you have the basic clot. They're slow and weak, but deadly in groups as they can immobilize you by grabbing you unless you have the Berserker perk. More on that later. Next up, we have the Crawler. Low health, but they move quick and can be a pain to shoot sometimes or hard to see due to their fast movement, short height, and dark color, as they can sort of blend in with their environments at times. Following crawlers, we have the lovely sirens. Probably one of the scariest looking Zeds, these are a pain in the drain, as they have a deadly ranged attack in the form of a scream, and they have a fair amount of health, although thankfully they can't move very fast. Also, we have the Bloat, a slow-moving bullet sponge with a pesky ranged spit attack that deals heavy damage over the course of a few seconds, and also blurs your vision. Lovely. And also the Stalkers. They are completely invisible from a distance and only have a silhouette in closer range unless they're attacking or are taking damage. They can easily catch you by surprise if you're not careful. We also can't forget the lovely Husk, with a fancy fireball launcher which deals heavy damage and has a high range, in addition to having a high health bar, but thankfully he's slow moving. Try to take him out ASAP or you'll be his lunch. If strategized properly, his fireballs can be used to harm his fellow Zeds. Additionally, the fast-moving Gorefast. This one-armed creature moves very fast and will not hesitate to swing his sharp blade at your head and can take a few bullets before dying. Moving on to the big boys, we got the Scrake and the Flesh Pounds. They're similar in nature in that they're both big juggernauts that slowly walk unless enraged, then they bum rush the player and deal heavy damage, except the Flesh Pound can absorb more before dying and he dishes out more damage himself. And finally, the creator of the Zeds, the Patriarch, your final boss should you survive to the last wave. He can turn invisible, has a machine gun, a grenade launcher, and can summon Zeds to aid him in battle. Admittedly, I have only been able to beat him on the easy difficulty on my time playing Killing Floor 1. But as a counterweight to all the enemies you'll encounter, you have a hefty weapons arsenal, ranging from pistols and basic rifles to grenade launchers, a dragon breath shotgun, and a claymore sword. You start off every game with a weak knife, 3 grenades I think, and a weak pistol, and you must use these tools to earn money by killing Zeds, with a bonus paycheck upon completing each round, and with each round, Zeds increase in number and strength. In between the carnage, you catch short breaks to visit the trader, where you can buy or sell weapons and purchase or repair armor. You can purchase guns from any perk, regardless of what your perk is. Very useful as you might not have enough dough to purchase one from your class, although there is an equipment weight limit you must follow. A bit more about the perks, there are 8 in total. Berserker, or Melee Specialist, Commando, Demolitions, or Explosive Expert, Field Medic, Firebug, or Fire Expert, used for cooking roast Zed, Sharpshooter, and Support, which has a heavy focus on shotguns and door welding. Each perk can be leveled up a total of 6 times versus 25 times on Killing Floor 2, and each perk has certain requirements related to that perk to level up. E.g., a medic requirement might be heal 2,500 health points to other players, or a berserker requirement might be deal 5,000 points of damage with melee weapons. And it doesn't matter what perk you have, you can level up all perks as long as you're meeting that requirement. say using melee attacks as a firebug will work towards the Berserker perk. A bit more about actual gameplay, the game has a ton of levels, or floors, to choose from, some made by players, some by Tripwire. But they're all really fun and some are more challenging than others, and they all have a brief description to kind of set their scene in the game. Mountain Pass and Hillbilly Horror were two of my favorites. Scattered among the maps are ammo and sometimes weapons and armor, along with sometimes environmental hazards. Close corner maps were generally harder than more open maps, especially considering clots can immobilize you, making the maps more challenging. So yeah, since mobility is key and camping is never an option, having some elbow room to maneuver is crucial. I think one thing that makes Killing Floor different than one of its competitors called Zombies is that Zeds can come from pretty much anywhere, and you're never safe, considering there's no one-hit wonder weapon to bail you out of a corner and there are no second chances. You die and your game ends. No quick revive, just death. And a lot of the environments are really well thought out, such as random dead bodies lying around or just various filth in general. And say what you will, I kinda liked playing it on not the highest graphics setting, kinda added something to it. The sound effects were all really good, along with all the Z designs, although I must say Killing Floor 2 improved a bunch of them, except the Siren and the Stalker. I prefer the designs on Killing Floor 1. The Siren is like nightmare fuel. And this game is quite a splatterhouse, lots of blood for the time. And the soundtrack was amazing. Various rock and metal songs by Synthetic and Dirge. What I really liked about it was organic. Like it sounded like it was recorded in some dude's basement and hadn't been electronically processed a billion times to the point it's not even the same song, like a lot of modern artists do. Kinda had a raw and a punky feel to it. I really enjoyed it. My only real beef with the game is a lack of controller support, as I'm better with a controller than with keyboard and mouse, but even with that being said, I had a blast with this game. You should definitely pick it up, especially since it gets heavy discounts during sales. Earns a 9.9 out of 10 for me. A truly amazing game that deserves more players, and I would like to add that this game was made by like 12 people in a relatively short time frame. This game really put Tripwire on the map and they deserved it. Well, that's all for me, folks. For anyone new here, I mostly play, review, and discuss zombie and horror games, so feel free to check out some of my other content if that sounds interesting. Always remember that Jesus loves you all very much. Peace.